few answers to that frequently asked question, why don't people in television institute some form of anti-cock-up insurance? Well, as you'll see, it's because there'd be just too many ways to lose your no-claim bonus.
A single oak.
You're not bewitched, you're mad.
I'll have the contracts drawn up and we can sign over lunch tomorrow. Flanagan's, do you know it? Good. See you then. We're not rehearsing it. Are we filming it now?
Oder falls es noch vorkommt, dann wird es als eine bedauerliche Form des Wahnsinns, die durch Pflege und Güte zu heilen ist, von den Ärzten behandelt werden.
Al demonio grité con la comedia, quiero despertar en ti.
The message to them and anyone else who may find anything suspicious when they return is call the police immediately. Jeremy Hands, ITN, in Putney. Except this isn't Putney, is it?
That's it for the moment. I'll be back with the news. The news in detail at 7:30.
And now we will lock this.
Hey, officers? Yeah. What seems to be a problem here?
You're not on the air, are you?
No. Huh?
I like teasing my fuckers. You're not going to do this to me, are you?
Obviously, as John Elway knows, in this league, with as many teams capable of winning the Super Bowl, at least getting that far, you got to project maybe a half a dozen teams have the horsepower.
Well, it's more or less what they did to our car industry. Anyway, there are very few TV performers who can't tell a horror story about props, the name that's given to any object you're required to handle or drop. In fact, some think all studios should have a government warning that says props can cause outtakes. As for instance...
Using a sash clamp, cross here, a couple of pieces of wood just to protect it, so as you don't bruise the wood. Oops, they always drop out. You need about 3 pair of hands doing this job. But anyway, just squeeze that in there. Hopefully that will...
Prizes. It must, first of all, let's see if it opens the Hoover-matic washing machine. No. We go along to our tape recorder. Still no click. I'm waiting for the click. Let's go to the rotisserie. No rotisserie. Down to the 23-inch television set. No. We come to the Waltham watch. Still no click, so it has to be, unless I'm sadly mistaken,
asked him by his spirit to come into my heart. Yes, Terry had enjoyed the fun and games, but the very best was when he realized that Jesus had power to forgive sins.
Salad Master has the inverted covers for easy storing, genuine Bakelite handles, and a little policeman on the cover so you'll never burn your food. And these pans, friends, are guaranteed as long as you live. Look at this for abuse. First time that ever happened.
Those old piano lid blues. Well, having seen so many people starting things they can't finish, let's now look at some who start things they can't even begin. In other words, those instances when a program goes up the spout right at the outset. An interesting example being the reporter who was introducing a young Australian lady named Leanne Dick.
And in fact, we still have Miss Australia with us in Leanne Cock and Leanne Dick.
News 11 at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Alleged serial killer Henry Lee Lucas says 2 Lubbock lawmen provided him with crime scene.
Good evening. One of the most difficult crimes to detect is that committed by a stuck auto cue.
News 4, Oklahoma.
Good evening, I'm Jerry Adams.
Well, Sloan Brown has a... You can see her in the background. She, unfortunately, is on crutches tonight, so... Sloan Brown fell down.
And ABC News Brief brought to you by Michelob Light Beer. Now from Washington, Sandra Van Oker.
Good evening.
We got Craig in Ottawa to tell us what he's got there. Craig? Good morning, Craig.
Yeah?
What are you going to be doing for us in Ottawa?
We're not on yet, are we?
Yes. We're on.
From News Scene 7, this is News Brief.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, it's a case of perm anyone from 3, and here's the girl who's hoping to strike it lucky. Was she in for something? Her name is Carmel, and she comes from the East Midlands. Come in, Carmel.
It's called getting the show off to a flying stop. Well, I think it's now got late enough to bring on our little group of outtakes labelled love scenes, especially as the first one obviously disregarded that cardinal rule of television drama, never shoot a love scene straight after lunch.
Claire! I get this piece of pineapple stuck right here.
I didn't taste it.
Billy.
Oh, Mary.
There was an article in Cosmo last month about how married couples should use as much variety as possible in their love life. Times, places, clothes.
What's Cosmo?
Cosmopolitan magazine for the woman of today.
Oh, that's where you get all your fancy ideas from, is it?
They're not fancy, they're just interesting. Things are changing for women, you know, Neville, even on Tyneside.
Sorry, I got totally distracted there because Newcastle have just scored a goal.
Well, it doesn't happen all that often, does it? Nor does Newcastle scoring a goal. But we're now getting into our last selection of the day, so as usual, I must say thank you to all the distinguished media persons who allowed us to put their momentary misjudgments on display, and, as is also customary, to mention some of the outtakes we couldn't track down. such as the moment at the Royal Command performance when somebody said to the Queen, "May I see your ticket, please?" The wedding home video where the bride's mother edited the groom out completely. And, of course, that legendary yell of anguish from the leading man in a nude love scene when one of the camera crew was careless with the clapperboard. But the thing about outtakes is that, like Christmases, the best ones are always associated with children, which is why they're the subject of our last batch, starting with this young actor whose task was to sit in his high chair and greet the entry of his father with a big, happy smile.
Sadist. I bring great news, my Geog, Lord of the Universe.
Yes, I was wondering how the grandmother got the children from her son and daughter-in-law.
Okay.
The daughter-in-law left the children before they was a year old. We don't know where she is now.
She's in jail.
Yes, Agro is madly in love. There's two lovely young ladies here. Little Brooke, who seems to be very in love with Agro too, and Carolyn.
It's wonderful to be back.
Carolyn, if you don't know, was formerly a Wombat reporter a few years ago when even Craig... many years ago. Yeah. What brings you back to Australia, Carol?
Basically, we're back visiting a very happy grandma.
Oh, is this the first time Brooke's been to Australia?
She couldn't do anything.
David, in real life, there is no take two.